Guys, Deluded Gooner, YouTube's N'Golo Kante, the best YouTuber at this thing. Let's get back into it, man. Q&A Sundays, you know Fridays and Sundays, I got you guys covered. Thank you very much for the questions, man. I love when you guys react so kindly. Been overwhelmed by the response. Questions here. Oh, it finally wants to show you for once. So let's crack on, man. I'm waffling. Okay, we've got first question from Ords First. Forgive me if I've said your username wrong, bro. Thoughts on sweeper keepers? Should our next goalkeeper be a sweeper keeper, especially as Voic, he's talking about Chesney, is one, and we were linked with Pickford, who is one as well. Well, bro, firstly, I'd say I want my keeper to just be able to catch a ball, man. We know at Arsenal competence is a real big thing. We've signed centre-halves based off data that can't defend, that are not savage at all, strikers that can't finish, midfielders that can't do midfield stuff. So as an Arsenal fan, first and foremost, I would love a keeper that could catch a bloody football. I'm a bit, at the risk of you lot getting onto me, I do think it's a bit overrated with this whole, we're getting stuck up on ball playing and all these things for multiple positions, not just the goalie. Of course, with today's market and the way we play, it's an added bonus if a keeper is good at his feet. But would you necessarily call Czech a sweeper keeper or have him down as the best with his feet? No, he's decent in that regard. I think it's overstated, to be honest with you. Yes, at Arsenal, you got to, because of the way we play football, the keeper has to want the ball at the feet, and Czech is on that to a degree. But would I class him necessarily as a sweeper keeper? Of course not. And a lot of you get onto me for saying I'll take Joe Hart. I will take Joe Hart. Of course, there's options I would love before him, and we probably can't get him because of the wages. I don't see us paying him for them wages. But we could do a lot worse than Joe Hart. But before I lose track, why I actually mention him, for me, he's a good keeper anyways. He's got a lot of shortcomings, but he's a good keeper. We could definitely do a lot worse. Would you class him as a sweeper keeper or someone that's necessarily good with their feet? No, you wouldn't. But he's not necessarily bad with his feet. He's a calm keeper. You get what I'm saying? So you could say, yeah, to answer your question, yes, ideally, let's look for a sweeper keeper, but then it comes at a risk. I mean, I'll class Loris as one, and Loris is a very good keeper, but from time to time, he is capable of some crazy stuff. Would I really want that? No, to be honest. I prefer the calm, more cool, collected sort of keeper, to be honest. That comes off his line as the last option, to be honest. I don't really like the coming off the line business. But to answer your question, yes, you're correct in that, to be honest with you. Yeah. Yeah, man. I just like my keepers to be able to keep to save shots and stuff like that, and then we build from there. But yeah, that answers your question. I'm waffling. At JP Jackson, what's left in the balance for Arsenal's future once Wenger leaves? You've promoted or us actually becoming a galactical club? Well, it remains the same. You see my vids. If you haven't, I gotta plug it. Type in Deluded Gooner fantastic resources and it will come up. Fantastic resources. We're the 7th/8th richest club in the world. We're always getting 50,000 if you believe these people. Well, we're not the biggest followed in terms of following, but we're one of them. We're always growing. We are not in champs, but we've been in champs for however many years, and we have this blueprint of class and all of this. That's all going to remain the same when Wenger's going to be there. There's going to be when he leaves. Sorry, there's going to be fantastic resources. But why I'm not confident and why it's going to go down the head is because, on one part, if another manager comes in, yes, he'll galvanise the squad and all these things, and he might win a title. But the man at the top, Kroenke, it doesn't matter who manages this club. If the person at the top doesn't want to win titles or doesn't want to excel on the sporting front, they're going to be crippled. So to a degree, Wenger is a miracle worker in that regard. So I would say it would be the case of Wenger will leave us what we're promised with. Fantastic resources, but it won't be in the hands of people that want this club to do well. Look at even Glazides. He's saying we're overachieving. And then he's pointing to the 3 FA Cups. Yes, you could argue that, but we all know that's not why we came to the Emirates. The very man who said we're trying to be Bayern Munich, Madrid, etc., etc., would they be happy with 3 FA Cups in however many years or whatever? No. So, yeah, man, it's not going to get any better, barring a miracle. I'd love to wake up one day, and sadly, it pains me to say it, but Kroenke actually needs to go, and I'm not talking go as in leave Arsenal, go to the other side when you don't live anymore. That, or just sell the club. That's the only reason. That's the only way this club gets anywhere. Forgive me, God, but that's the truth. So, yeah, man. And you're also seeing us, the wage bill. We've got a high wage bill. You're seeing us, what was it? The Xhaka season, we spent 90-odd million. Last year, broke our record, 52. So the P's are there now. The P's are there. Wenger has a lot of shortcomings in regards to the sporting front. But to answer your question on a broad basis, I think it's a case of fantastic resources, but we're going to go the other way because man don't want to win stuff for our club. So I hope that answers your question. Sadly, boy, with Wenger, we've been, to a degree, let's not lie, for all his shortcomings, we have been punching above our weight. I'm not concerned. I'm very concerned. I can't even get my speech properly. I'm very concerned about the future of our club, to be honest with you. Very concerned, and I've been saying this. I hope that answers your question, bro. Ski. Yeah, man. You're also seeing new staff in several different positions. So on the surface, there should be a fantastic thing for someone to take over for the club to continue. But it's Arsenal, bro. Ski. Tariq Amazing. If oh sorry, at Tyreek Amazing, I'm losing my head there. If Moyes replaces Bielik, what merit would this be based on? Banter, innit, bro? Like, what else? What has Moyes done? I mean, they could do a lot worse. They could do a lot worse than Moyes. I mean, I could see why he's linked. I mean, he's there. Pulis is being thingied as well, man. Pulis is being asked questions at Brom. People are saying he might leave Brom. West Ham might as well get that, at least for the end of the season, stability and things like that. But to answer your question, I can only see banter, really. That's just Bants. Like, just getting Moyes is Bants. He's become a running joke. He's still talking about his United time when no one really cares anymore. So, yeah, there's actually rumours of him going back to Everton. So, we'll see in that regard. I don't know what merit is based on that, to be honest, bro. I'm as baffed as you. You got another question. Bro, thoughts on Timo Werner? Big fan of him, boy. He got me last year. I think he bagged 20 plus goals. I really was in love, fell in love with the guy, how he plays football. He's very calculated, typical German in that aspect. He's very calculated in what he wants to do. He impressed me at the Converts. I love him at Arsenal. There's a couple other young. We know. I'm not saying he's in the same bracket as Mbappe and all these mad strikers. But when you consider they're all young, no one really speaks of Werner like that. And Werner, along with Arp's are very young. He's like 17, turning 18 or something like that. I'm keen to see how them and they develop, because they are exciting. Werner is exciting, man. He's choked up his chances of joining, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, all of these clubs. He said he wants to join a big club one day, so we'll see. Hopefully it's Arsenal, but boy, hopefully that answers your question, bro. At Jacob Durant. In 2017, that's a good question. In 2017, has the time passed for players with little skill / physical ability but great passion, e.g., John O'Shea / Mark Noble? You could say the time's passed, but we live in a country of passion merchants, bro. Let's not lie. I mean, Arsenal's very own Ozil. A lot of the criticism can arguably be warranted, but I mean, they because he's not pounding off his chest and shouting and throwing his boots around and flying into challenges. People say he's got no heart, no passion. If he's got no heart, no passion, go and look at the Chelsea Arsenal final and he barred Hazard and incidences like that. It's never going to change. But look at the players that play for the national team, because certain passion merchants and players that don't really have ability, it's not going to change, bro. Because the intelligence in this country, sadly to say, I'm not getting at no one, isn't at the levels of other clubs, other countries. Because when it comes to football, there's no disrespect, no mistake, sorry. And this ain't a disrespect. The English culture, the English mentality is behind the Germans and Spanish, and they're very retarded in the sense of football compared to them. Ozil is another example of that, and I'm sure you can insert several other examples. So the time will never pass, bro. You've got another question. How good the signing is Nabi Keita? Well, the worst thing about that signing is that it's going to take a year for the man to play. Very jealous of Chelsea, Liverpool getting him. He's a lovely midfielder. He's composed. He can pass the ball. He's got vision. He's a decent tackler. My only concern is his discipline. He's been sent off a couple times. He's had bust up with people at training. He's been sent off for Senegal, and he's also had some off-field issues like the whole driving license scandal. So when it comes to purely football, he is amazing. I'd love him, but maybe that's why some other clubs didn't go for him, because of his mentality, not mentality, but the discipline and the antics that he comes with. I remember that's a reason some clubs were saying why didn't go for Arturo Vidal, because of the antics, despite being a great footballer. But I'm jealous of Liverpool. I think he's going to be a very good signing, and hopefully it means Oxlade never gets that central midfield dream, to be honest. Yes, I'm sorry about that, guys. Anywho, hopefully that answers your question, broski. At K Barrett 2316, my guy. Should the new who should be the new West Ham manager? I'd say long shot, and I'm not really a fan of Rodgers. I think he's a good coach, but a bookie manager. I'd say Rodgers is a long shot. Surely that Celtic thing's got to be boring now. Come back to the Premier League. I know Celtic to West Ham's a downgrade to a degree, but come and get your ratings back. It's a new project. Can bring them to a next level or whatever. You could say Ronald Koeman. He's available, and you could certainly do a lot worse. I'd say him. So Ronald Koeman, Rodgers a long shot. Who else could you get realistically? Moyes has been linked. Moyes and Alan Pardew seem to be the bookie's favourites. So in that regards, I'd say them two. But for me, if I had a choice, I'd say Ronald Koeman if I was a Hammers fan, based on just who is available right now. Hopefully that answers your question, bro. And lastly, Hunter Zolomon asks, bro, do you think with the current success of the EPL teams in Europe is due to the EPL having the best managers in the world? Obviously, Pep, Jose, whoever. Personally, I think it's very early days. It's important to remember we're still in the group stages. So I mean, a lot of people are saying this, but if these same English teams go out in the last 16 or embarrass themselves, what is going to be said? Oh, they need to strengthen the long way ahead of behind the European sides. Blah blah blah. A big reason for it is probably Pep's taking this thing seriously. He has no choice. He's bought to Manchester City for the Champions League. Who else is being serious in this thing? Spurs had to up their game massively. They were spoken of going out. People saying Dortmund and Madrid, their certainties to go through. Now Spurs are going through, so them two clubs had to up the ante. Chelsea are just doing enough. You saw a fantastic result. Was it Atletico or was it Roma? They turned it around, but then they got smacked up away from home. So yeah, man, they look like they're going through regardless. They have to learn lessons. United are just doing enough. For me, out of all the teams, I'll say United probably have to get out of several gears the most because their group isn't really that good. They haven't really had to be at their best, and they're not. I don't think at this moment in time they're guaranteed to go through on paper, but they're more or less through. So I'd say it's early days, but I mean, the English clubs are doing what they wanted to do, but I think it's way too early to suggest anything, to be honest with you. And time will tell, especially when we get to the new year and fixtures are coming and we're getting to the proper stages of Europe. So yeah, man, Pep's doing his thing. United and Chelsea, I think they out of all the English teams in it can go up several levels. Liverpool are doing what they need to do and what they need to be doing and taking care of business. So yeah, man. Hopefully that answers your question. Guys, that wraps up the Q&A. Thank you for your questions. Get in the comments with more. I swear I love doing this with you guys. Get in the comments with anything from new video suggestions to questions. Like it for me, subscribe for me. I'm out. DG, best YouTuber ever. I'm out.